What's up, everybody? My name is Mike, and you're watching Powderhorn Heritage. In today's episode, I'm changing pace a little bit. Marty and I created this channel to be both educational and family-friendly. We strive to bring a piece of history to your screens. Our red Mexican friend and I are actively working on a couple of projects that we hope will pique the interest of your little walking tax credits. As dads, we have taught our little snuggle trophies to love this country, love the Constitution, and above all, to work hard and to always look out for those weaker than themselves. As husbands, we've been blessed to find like-minded women who, for the most part, put up with us. Sometimes they actually like us. In all seriousness, though, a man's first responsibility is to his family, and it's not a task to be taken lightly. So today, we're going to talk about something that's not gun-related. No, it's not exactly history-related either, but it is a war. It's the war for our kids, and a testament to the lengths that a father will go to protect his own. Now, for context, we need to look at Gary Pluchet. You know, the guy from this video. Gary! Gary! Valentine's Day, 1984, Jody Pluchet was kidnapped by his karate teacher in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're just gonna call him Jeff. So if you don't already know this story, stick around because we're going to do a little bit of a dive into it. Immediately after, a nationwide manhunt ensues. The big break came when Jody was allowed to place a collect call to his mom. He was allowed to do this from his hotel room. I swear to God, poured this guy's brains in with a teaspoon while an angel jiggled his arm. So on February 29th, 2 weeks after Jody's disappearance, police raided the hotel room in Anaheim, California. Now, we all know what happens to kitty diddlers in prison.
I like you. No, won't you?
But Gary Pluchet, the dad in this situation, was a proactive member of society and a true national hero. He waited by the payphone in the airport while the police walked his son's kidnapper through the terminal. Out of nowhere, Gary turns around and does a 180 no-scope straight to the dome, ventilating this man's head. Now, at this point, the legend of Gary Pluchet was born. After much public outcry about him even being charged for the crime, Gary pled guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 7 years, which was subsequently suspended by the judge for saying, quote, "Let me look this up so I get it right. Prison would serve no useful purpose." I honestly don't know who I'm more proud of here, Gary for saving the taxpayers' dollars on a life sentence, or the judge for using the proper application of jurisprudence. Going by the social climate of those times, we may have seen another great case of jury nullification had this actually made it to trial. Oh my gosh, we used to be a proper country. In the end, Gary was sentenced to 300 hours of community service, proving once again that no matter how much you give this country, it's always going to ask for more. This was 40 years ago. What if this happened today? I did find another story similar to this in Russia. September of 2021, Vyacheslav Matrosov. Yeah, try saying that one real fast. Anyway, he went full jigsaw. His friends apparently called him Slava, which in Romanian means glory. So to give you a little bit of a backstory, Slava is a 34-year-old father of a 6-year-old girl. Slava just happened to have a friend named Oleg. Oleg was very close with the family. He was actually Slava's daughter's godfather and was known to babysit her. One day, Slava ends up going through Oleg's phone. On that phone, he found explicit footage of Oleg doing things to the 6-year-old daughter. In the video, you can hear his daughter saying, "Oleg, that's enough. I can't take this. I want to go home." This is coming from a 6-year-old girl. Now, the details coming up to the climax of this story are a little bit murky, but a few days before his disappearance, some people said that they might have seen Oleg walking around pretty much beaten to a bloody pulp. Oleg's body was found about a week later in a shallow grave in one of the surrounding wooded areas. Now, if this was where the story ended, I would be completely satisfied. Kitty Diddler got what he deserved, but this is just the beginning of the craziness. Slava's sheer cold-bloodedness makes this story infinitely better. Slava was subsequently arrested and charged with murder for stabbing the kitty diddler to death and then burying him. While he was facing up to 15 years in prison, locals from the area had gathered about 2,500 signatures calling for his release, stating their support for him for, quote, "saving our children by ridding us of a child attacker." One journalist wrote, "All parents are standing up for the pedophile's killer." Eventually, the murder charges were in fact dropped. but he wasn't released. This is where it gets good. I couldn't find any cold hard evidence or articles from Russia. All I could find was stuff from the UK and then things that came out a few years later here in the US. But as the story goes, during the trial it came out that Slava had not only not killed Oleg, but Slava had not even dug the grave that Oleg was buried in. The dead guy was pretty much given the ultimatum of either I go to the cops or we settle this like men. Slava, who had presumably beaten Oleg in the days preceding this, had taken Oleg to the woods. It was there that he forced Oleg to dig his own grave. After digging his own grave, Slava somehow coerced Oleg into stabbing himself to death. For his part in all of this, Slava was given 18 months for influencing a person to take their own life. Pedophiles aren't people. In the end, Slava came home after only 6 months of incarceration. Once home, he posted a picture to his social media of himself and his wife Natalia saying home, love very much. And those, my friends, are the stories of two dads almost 40 years apart who gave everything to protect those whom they loved. And when they could not protect them, they took matters into their own hands and made sure that those individuals would never hurt anyone ever again. If you want to support the channel, please give us a like, a comment, please subscribe. We're trying to build up our base. I might do one of these from time to time, find something, an article, something from history that I find interesting. I might post it on here. We'll see you in the next one.